Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the stream today. Before we dive in, go ahead and like, follow, and subscribe on the platform that you're watching this on right now. Your support helps me keep doing what I love, creating content that inspires, teaches, and entertains. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you never miss when I go live. Let's get into it and have some fun. All right, everyone. Welcome. I don't know if I want to say tonight or good afternoon, and there is a reason why I'm saying that, because I am talking with a dear friend of mine from, like I said, across the pond. So if you are overseas, this is nighttime for you, but if you're in my neck of the woods, it's today, and we are on the rewind, and this is day 2. And I'm reading on my note cards here. I'm so excited to bring this person on. It's been a long time coming. We have definitely crossed paths over the years, and we've collaborated in the esports space over the years. And the person's name is Bubba Gaeddert, and he shaped the esports education across the US, and he's now influencing the next generation, your kids, my kids, who are in their teens and their 20s for gaming professionals in London. And so he is a senior lecturer and the head of events at the College of Esports, which is a university inside the London's Olympic Park and one of the only higher ed institutions fully dedicated to esports business, management, production, and digital media, all the stuff that I am into. And I know some of you are into. And Bubba brings more than 25 years of experience in sports, events, gaming, nonprofit work, which is where I first crossed paths with him, leadership, and community development. And he carries all of that into the way he teaches, the way he mentors people, and how he designs learning experiences with others. And the one thing that I can appreciate with being around Bubba is that he connects esports to real careers and not just gameplay. Even when we just talked about being on here before, like, y'all know yesterday my mic wasn't where it needed to be. We were just talking all about that. I'm like, yeah, it's because I didn't see my settings. It lost my Yeti settings, and it's just, this stuff is a skill set, and this is what he teaches. So he helps students and communities understand, again, the event production, the content creation, which is what I'm into, the broadcasting, which is what you see me doing right now, business strategy, and what it means to be workforce ready, something that I'm very much into, especially being workforce ready in this industry. And so I was very honored to finally be on his show, Invite Sent, to really give for him allowing me to be on a platform to share what my perspective is on esports, especially for who I am in this space. So I am so excited that this has come full circle. Then that's a big circle, a big, huge circle, since he is overseas. And now, with experience on both sides from the US and the UK, Bubba is bringing global perspective on where esports education is and where it's heading and why it matters. So it is definitely my privilege to bring on the rewind, Mr. Bubba Gaeddert. Yay!
Hello.
You know what? Okay. Can I give you full disclosure from behind the scenes? You know, I don't really talk about your last name all the time.
That's okay. You did great. That's why I go by Bubba. It's easier.
Do you know how many times I was like, okay, let me rehearse his last name? Because, like, okay, I don't know if you're Cajun or not, but like my family's Louisiana, and so I'm like, I'm saying Gaeddert, this da 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 da. Like that's just where I come. That's where I come from. Like, okay, I'm gonna say it in a Louisiana way, but like, let me go on LinkedIn to make sure that it sounds. That
No,
full
you did
disclosure,
great.
y'all. Full disclosure. Like I don't call him by his last name. I say Bubba.
Yeah,
Bubba.
no one
Like
does.
that's his name is rare to say. His last name is very rare to say. Like people just don't call. I don't know if people call you Mr. Gaeddert or whatever, Gaeddert. I just Bubba. Okay.
Yeah, just that's easy. That's easy. Well, I mean, I work with kids for almost 30 years now, so being Bubba makes it easy for kids and for old people and middle-aged tech experts like yourself.
Yeah, this was a very long intro, and I had to sit here and think, what do I need to write about? What I need to say, because
He did so much is great.
Thank you. I think I made Carrie cry last night.
Nice.
But as I was writing it, I'm like, I was thinking about like over the years where we had crossed paths, and I'm like, God, like the connection is so huge. Like for y'all that are in this space, if you're not in tech or computer science or esports, I guess AI is now becoming a thing, but like those three communities, they're tight knit people, and we are all very close, and sometimes we'll cross paths. And so again, as I was writing this, I'm like, God, I don't remember virtually meeting you, but I remember
we met at TEC. We met at TEC in Austin.
TEC. Are you talking about TECA?
Sure, yeah, sure. But people call it TEC, right?
Who calls it? Nobody call it. Nobody calls
That's
it
what they told me when I was there. They're like, just call it TEC.
Who says that?
The people that work there just call it TEC.
Corey, if you're listening, she is the head of it. Do they call it that? Because as long as I've been there, we said TECA. Like ISTE and all that kind of stuff.
That's the difference between. That's why there's initialisms and acronyms. And
that is
abbreviations.
new. That is new to me, y'all, and I've been in this space for over.
All right, so we met at TEAC in 2019, I think, maybe, or 2012. I don't remember what it was, but we had met before through something NASIF or something. I have no idea, or TechSef, and then
was it TechSef?
Yeah, because I met you and
Danielle
on a call, and then I met all you guys. Yeah, I met all you guys at TEAC in Austin.
Yeah, and so and then I remember, like, I know you were doing stuff with gaming concepts, and I know you probably still do stuff with gaming concepts, so that's how we kind of touch base there.
Yep.
And you still do a lot of stuff with your nonprofit, so that's how we really got to know each other. But then, like, when I started doing my program in my former district, and you were talking to my kids, and I'm just sitting there in the back supervising, like, oh, now I get to really I get to really see him in action. And I will tell you, before we even get to the program, like, that was my first run in really developing a summer program virtually. That was years ago.
That was so long ago. I'm recalling this though.
Yeah, and that was, I was watching from my house. I was tapping in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the kids were in their summer program. So they had summer school, but they also had the summer camp. And I developed a curriculum with NASEF over that. And I remember, thank you. I always say my friend Shayna Glass, she helped push me along to do that. But that was my first time really doing some really intense program work across the district, let alone being in the virtual space, let alone me being at my home going, okay, well, I'm not going to every school. I'm just going to click, monitor. Y'all give me the links. Let me know what's going on. Let me give the feedback. I don't even know what the stuff was about. I just know that we were having great conversations, and the kids were really.
What this?
It was in Aldine at the time.
Yeah. Wait. Nimsy workshop. Nimsy.
Nimitz.
I'm just looking through old. Yeah, I'm looking through an old calendar.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Nimitz. Yeah. Cause yeah, I'm looking through all the guests. Suffle is maybe somebody. Miss Souffle, I guess.
Okay.
Alan Aldine. No, that's Aldine.
Yeah.
Is that the same school?
That's the district. And Aldine is also a high school and a middle school too. So I don't know if you had
I see your
work
email
with
there.
them.
I see your email.
That email don't exist no more.
Yeah, I bet that doesn't. Well, Nemo. So I remember Nemo was on a call with me. Connor from. I'm just looking at all the people in invites right now. Connor, who's now at NACAD, who runs NACAD, right? Connor Olney, Coach Olney.
Yeah.
So him. Oh, Kendra Beaver. She works at Parks and Rec Esports now. Wow, is that Marcus Howard? No, that's not Marcus on that call. Nemo, but I don't know if you remember Nehemiah Odor. He worked for IGN for a while after HSCL, but Nemo's really cool, dude. Yeah,
wow.
How funny. That's. I just typed in your name. I typed in your name to my calendar and see. Obviously, let's see, April 6, 2022 is when we played Knockout City together on my show. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah,
or 3 years ago.
That was such a great game. Too bad it's not in existence anymore.
It's still available to play. It's just not updated, right?
And Knockout City people and people don't. I don't want to misquote you, but it's like it was one of those games. I feel like it was ahead of its time. It was a great game to put into schools because it wasn't like a first person shooter. It was it was a glorified kickball game. But I think at the time, like all of these games, like the Marvel Rivals and all that kind of stuff. It was dodgeball. It was dodgeball. It just I guess wasn't as sustainable as we thought it was. It takes a lot to build those kind of games.
Yeah, it really does. I remember the studio owner, the publisher. We were speaking to him. I think it was me and Marcus were actually talking to him a few weeks or a few months before the release of it, and we're like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a great game because it's not a shooter game." All things you just said. And I remember him saying, and I use this as a case study with my students talking about game publishers and influencers, because he was saying we're not going to use influencers for our game because we want our game to succeed without that, like the normal status quo. And then the week before launch, I see a ton of Twitch streamers playing it because that's the MO. That's the way to play it.
Like it's the natural progression, and again, it was safe. It was inclusive. It was something that even when I was wanting to build out my program, that was one of the first ones I said, hey, I think at the time it was starting to, or it was cross-platform too. So I was like,
yeah, that was still a pretty new thing to get everybody to cross-platform after COVID.
Absolutely. And I said, you need to start with this one. And people were like, well, what is it about? It does these things. Like if you don't want the Call of Duties, if you don't want all these games in there, it, like do this. And I was even like wanting to take it a step further and be like, you can translate this and going into the gym and still play a 100% Knockout City type of a game.
Just like sim racing right now. It's exactly the same. Just like FIFA, just like all that. It's all the same applicable.
Yes.
Applications.
It's just I wish it. I hate to say it, like I wish it would have gone a little bit further because I think there was something there. I think my mind was like, this could be something for the elementary kids.
We were all pushing it pretty hard. I feel like the esports classic space was very much trying to get that to succeed in the scholastic space for all those reasons. And I feel like we were all trying, and and that's the struggle with scholastic esports and publishers is there's no money to be made in scholastic esports that's absolute. It's rare. It's difficult to make money in scholastic esports, especially high school level.
You can speak your truth. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's taken me a long time to get to this space and really learn Carrie and I talked about it last night, like the business side of this stuff. And the business side is very hard. It's very real. There's some sacrifices. There's some realness that you have to put into it that the academic people don't see. us in academics, you're in there. We're very passionate and we want things to happen. But then on the business side, you have to make those tough decisions and make changes, or just don't do it anymore. Or look at data. Like you have to look at data and go, well, we have to shift, or we have to go this way. And then sometimes academia is like, why? We're like, because I want to be sustainable. I want to feed my kids.
God, think of the crossover you're talking about, the tech cefs to every state of a bunch of teachers trying to be business people. Like the struggle that we all have had to switch from teaching this stuff to doing this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Like that, what you just said about the business side is been such a challenge for Scholastic Esports for sure in the United States of making that move, that transition. You've done it well. Many of the people have done it well.
Have I done it well? I don't know. I don't know if I've done it well. I've just learned a lot. There have been some rough patches, but there have been some smooth edges. True. But I've really started like with what you're doing and just what I said in the notes, like really fascinated with the business side, because I've had to learn that, I am passionate about this space, but I also got to be real about this space. And now I speak on both sides. I speak from the educator passion. I speak from, that CEO business sense. Like these are the things that you have to think about when it's running a business. And I'm not a business expert by any means, but I'm learning. And it's funny that you say that too, because as you were talking about like how teachers are now having become business people or whatever, I've always said this, like if you had came to me, what was it? How long have we been in this game? You've been in it longer than I have, but we've been in this game for a long time. But if you would have came to me like years ago and said, I want to do a gaming esports program, great, let's do it. Let's set up that meeting. Let's get out the paper. Let's just throw out some stuff. Now you come up to me. Let's have some conversations.
Right.
I'm not judging you. I'm sure you can do it, but like, the first thing I said was, who's on your team? I'm doing it by myself. What else are you doing? Like I have a list.
You've had those bruises. You know,
I've had those
are,
bruises.
right?
I'll be like, okay, teacher Bubba, are you ready to take this on? Because first off, this gonna be free. This is
you're not getting paid for this.
You're not getting paid, and you are going to have to recruit. Are you ready? Your administrator is not gonna give you $10,000 to start this program. Your administrator is gonna see what you can do with what very little you have. For the most part, there are some people that will come and say, "I'm ready to do this, and I got money to spend." But for the most part, it's a lonely battle. It is lonely and it's hard. And so now I come in with like, okay, well, have you talked to IT? Who's IT? Nope. Okay. Pause. Have you talked to this person?
No person.
So they're like, okay, well, I just want to bring my consoles. Okay, well, you can bring your consoles in and do a club. Go on ahead. That's fine. But like, let's talk. I always tell people now, I'm okay with you doing, but if you want to really come and really hear the real deal, come talk to me. It's not a no. It's just I just want to prepare you for what's next. And then shout out to Claudia. I know this is your thing, because I was having a conversation with her. She keeps it real. Claudia, she don't play. She does not play. Her team in Texas, when I was doing the tournaments with Danielle and them in Texas, like she would come in guns blazing, and she's like, I don't know if I do. Like, girl, you came in and you were just taking charge. You made sure everybody was where they needed to be. Your team is on point. But she gave me some realness. She was like, look, like I have to make critical decisions on, I can't go to this event because I need to go to this event so I can get the numbers that I need for my admin, so I can get the money, because my admin is willing to give me, I'm just making up a number. And Claudia, if you're listening, I don't mean to misquote you.
$1 billion.
$1 billion. If my admin wants to give me money, they need stats. They need numbers.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And I said, girl, you are no longer baking brownies. She says, no, I'm not baking brownies anymore. My principals want numbers. They want to know who the top 3 players are. They don't care if it's Call of Duty Rocket League or whatever. They don't need to know the stats or how to play it. They need to know who those top 3 people are, how they're going to place and can they go. And if they're not in the top 3, they can't go. I'm like, oh, girl. She goes, yeah. She goes, I have to break hearts now. I'm like, girl, are you serious? She goes, if I want this money, if I want things to be sustainable, if my kids can't bring permission slips in on time, if they can't do these certain things, there's got to be a line. I'm like, girl, you are running a business. You're running a business. And she goes, yep, I sure am. I'm like, we have got to talk because these are things that people need to hear. Sorry, that's my rant. That's my soapbox. I hate when I get on these talks with my OGs.
Well, you're the consultant world. I mean, what you're talking about is critically important to understand. I mean, like for me, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I run a small business, I run a media firm, I run a charity. I do videos like this all the time. I love doing that because I'm a serial entrepreneur. But yeah, the conversations after years of getting asked the same question, you start your own business because you can get paid for it. And I think you did it right in the sense of when you're out of teaching full time, correct?
I teach part-time overseas, so virtually.
Right.
And I'm just getting my whole consulting thing trying to up and going. Like all of this stuff that I'm doing right now is kind of like, y'all look at what I'm doing.
Right.
But like it's come from those learning edges, as my friend Eric calls it, like learning like from what I've done in the past, because I've been very passionate in the beginning. I was that educator that wanted to get stuff started, but I didn't even start out doing this in the classroom. I was that district leader because I wanted to see, well, where are those red tapes? Why, where are the no's coming from? My teachers want to do this, but why is it a no? And so I would tell teachers, well, like, let me be your barrier and I'm going to come and tell you why. Enough for you to understand. I can't give you all the business because that's not your place, but like, let me help you cut some of that red tape. And let me tell you, these are the things that you are going to have to do in order for me to support you in this space. Are you ready? They're like, oh, I didn't think about doing all that. I just want to get in and play some games. I'm like, well, you still got to teach, you still got to grade, you still got to do all of these things. I need all of these things from you. I need media releases. I need all of these things. They're like, oh my God, I didn't know I need all that. I just thought I could just turn something on.
Just turn it.
I'm like, no, you can't.
Nope.
And I have to have conversations with my district leaders. I have to have conversations with my IT. I'm sure it's an easier conversation now than it was in the past, but there's still those barriers there. But like there are several people that I need to talk to because I'm representing at the time my supervisor and I'm representing you. Like, this is why these things need to happen. This is why we just can't turn on Fortnite. This is why we may have to turn off Discord. This is why we have to do these things logistically. And so let me get that roadmap for you. And if you're ready, we got to have weekly meetings. All of these things that I did to build up, like, here is the curriculum. Like, oh yeah, you're not just playing Rocket League. Like, that's not what admin want to see. They can see that and that's great, but they want to know what's the project based behind it and all those kinds of stuff. You know the deal. But people who are listening, you're getting that bird's eye view of like the stuff that me and Bubba have to go through and have those conversations with said person,
and teachers and everything.
Like how to build parents, all of those things, IT people, because I mean it's a lot of conversations. It is never a no. It's more of like, well, give me the roadmap, give me like what is it I need to do so that it's not a hard no.
This is literally why Connor and I, when he was working for the foundation with me back in 2020, I was renting office from the HSCL. And next door to Mason and his team, talking to 50 schools a week, it felt like it just explaining. They were on 30-minute phone calls with people from all over the country, and people were calling in saying, I heard that there's this video game thing in school, there's scholarships, and I heard Ninja makes lots of money, and how we want to get this started. And I just kept hearing these conversations over and over. And so Connor and I, we created some online courses with the foundation, and that was how to start an esports club. And it was those questions, and basically gave those out for free for people to use so they could have those conversations
Mhm.
instead of, get those. I said, you have these people watch the videos first to learn why esports matters, how to start a club, why scholarships are happening, and then have the conversation with them on the details, because those videos cover all those things instead of having to go through multiple meetings of
Yeah.
explaining who to talk in IT. Is just in a video. So we made that in 2020. They're 5 years old. There's like 2,000 people have taken these videos over the years. I haven't updated them in 5 years.
It probably still works. It's
It's
probably still the
close.
same conversation.
It's close. But yeah, the goal there was just to eliminate 25 minutes of a 30-minute phone call of, some guy from Texas saying, "Hey, this is important stuff," or Oklahoma or whatever it may be, Kansas, whatever it is.
Oh my goodness. We can go on and on, but I want to get to my questions, especially
Yeah.
before we got to this call. Like the biggest thing that you've done, at least in my eyes, is you're in London. Right now,
What?
like oh my God, I'm here. I didn't know.
It is surreal, though, to be honest.
It is surreal. Like like I said, you say you can't see me, but my mouth dropped with the extra stuff that you said. But like when you made that announcement, like, "Hey, I'm
Mhm.
going to London. I'm going to do
Mhm.
this,"
Yeah.
everybody was excited.
Oh,
I'm just
cool.
gonna say it out here, like overseas, that's where a lot of stuff is happening,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But you chose to take your expertise overseas and join the College of Esports.
Mhm.
What made this opportunity unique for you, and how is the work that you're doing there different from what we are typically doing here in the
Oh,
US?
wow. Oh my gosh. It is so different, man. It is interestingly different, but fun.
Mhm.
I've got a call with Christy Custer later this weekend. I think the first time we talked when I moved over here, let's see, back in September, October, I was just explaining last year, not this year, but 2024, when we moved over, like how different it is. The university I taught at for 11 years in Kansas City, it
That's
was
right.
it was, "Hey, thanks for your teaching again this semester, right? Okay, cool. We'll see you at the end of the semester. Here's the grades. All right, see you next year, next semester." And here, there is so much oversight, so much quality control that it's a little overwhelming. But then after a year of doing higher education in university level
Mhm.
school here, I see the value of the 14 checks and balances to make sure people get it right and they learn the right things rather than just checking a box on standards for your state
Okay.
or your board of regents. Like it's a small country, but it has high standards compared to America with 50 states and 70 different school boards per Texas, whatever, 100 different school boards, per county. Oklahoma, where I grew up, there were 77 counties in Oklahoma when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And that means at least one county school board, but then there's district boards. So just multiply that. And the amount of politicalization from state down was crazy. And to think, oh, that's really just not here. I mean, everybody just kind of operates because it's a country the size of, I don't know, Texas probably. Actually don't remember. Somebody told me the other day, but I can't remember. It's not there very big. Mexico, maybe. I don't know. But um, the 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 amount of school oversight is done at a top level, which has its pros and cons, but there isn't this weird difference from 1 mile to the next when it comes to a school district that
Mm.
completely operate differently. There's, the everything's funded this equally. I mean, every kid gets the same amount of funds all across the country. It's not tied to property taxes. So if you've got digital redlining or redlining from early in the 60s, 70s with systemic racism and in institutions, and um, house property values being much different from it is 2 miles away, where the people who give away the Snickers bars at candy at Halloween, that's not a difference here. Everybody gets funded the same, and
Wow.
so school's free. I mean, university used to be free up until like 15 years ago here, and so
Okay.
now it's only 9K a year, and like a master's is like 6K a year, but it only takes a year. It takes 3 years to get a degree here, not four, because you don't go to university and do all your gen eds again. You just specialize in whatever you're learning for 3 years and you're done. I just like, what are we doing in the United States? There's just everything's so tied to money. You talk about a rant going around. I'm fired up now, just thinking like, oh my God, what am I doing? What was I doing for 40 years in America? And it's so different here, bro. It's just
Really?
there's just so much to unpack on that. But I'm glad I'm here, and it's been a long journey. It took a year and a half for us to move from the process of deciding if we were going to leave Kansas City or not, and coming over here for a visit back in October 2023, and then saying yes. I think a few months before that, we said yes, but we're going to come visit. And we came and visited, and then moved here August 19th, 2024. Been here a little over a year now.
Wow. What about like you talked about like the whole academic and political space a little bit. I know we don't want to get into too deep on that, but like the esports space and the gaming space, what is the biggest difference between the UK and the US? And I know we have a lot of mutual connections that are in that space, but and I know I talked to several people who are there overseas, not just in the UK, but in other spaces, and there's like it's vastly different, whether that's good or bad, whatever. But like, what are you seeing that is so completely different than the US? See, you're laughing.
Just look at Seth Jenny's chart of the alphabet soup of every US Scholastic League name. If you've seen in the Rutledge Handbook of Esports, that book that Seth and Nico and a bunch of them made, where it's like got 4 or 5 columns, and he had to update 5 times because people kept saying, "Hey, what about our league?" There's so many US leagues. If you look at there's this skinny section on the right of that chart, and I'll go find it real quick. And
because I'm using that in my dissertation work.
Oh, you are good. Yeah. So, I mean, I've got it saved here somewhere. But like that chart shows the skinny little version of non-US or North American scholastic esports leagues and conferences. And in the UK, there's only 2 scholastic leagues for university or college university. And by the way, here in the UK, college has multiple meanings.
Okay.
So, in the US, you can call it college or university or a junior college or 4-year university. When you're in university, it's your freshman, junior, senior, freshman through senior type stuff for university.
Okay.
College is actually like your last 2 years of high school. Now, you can have a university called a college, or we're changing our name to a university soon, but it's like a process. You can't just start like a university in the UK and just be called a university. You have to go through naming. You can't, you can't just be like Trump University and just throw something against the wall. Here in the UK, you have to start under a validating partner, which we are. And so we're the College of Esports. Then you move to like University of, then University Campus, University, whatever university, and you become the University of Esports like 5 years, 6 years down the road. But it's such a weird thing because college is really only referred to that last 2 years of high school that you specialize.
I did not know that.
It's kind of like in Kansas City, we had this like 21st century where you could choose which high school out of the 5 high schools in our suburb in Kansas City, and you could, no matter where you were living, you could choose to go do like health and sciences services or something.
Kind of like magnet, yeah,
exactly. And so that my son next year is going to that college level, or it's got like 3 different terms, but that college level, that last 2 years of high school, that's specialized. And then you go to university in the UK, which is what I teach, even though you can be called a college, which whatever. And so that style of education, I just going back to it, I mean, I love that there's this specialization. So you asked me a question though a second ago. Sorry,
I was asking, but I want to. I still have it in my head, but I want to go back to those
Jenny's thing.
Oh yeah.
I was looking that up. But that's yeah, that's Seth's thing of there's so many different leagues. So the university league does have 2 university leagues, but then British Esports runs
Mhm.
all of the
Yeah.
college or high school level esports. And I know I've got it here somewhere. I could. It's usually hard to find on his feed, but I've got it saved because I've been using. There it is. Scholastic Esports list by Seth Jenny. Now to pull it up on my screen will be the other thing. Share screen. Will it
Okay.
work?
Let's try it. Let's see. Let me.
Window. Scholastic Esports. Share. Does it pop up?
Yes, I have it.
Okay.
People are seeing it right now.
Okay.
Woo, look at all that. I don't remember even seeing
So
that in the book yet. In the book yet, I haven't gone that
this
far.
was like I said, this is January 25 version. So I think you had a few more before that. But the British Esports Championship League, National Student Esports, NSE, and Newell are the only 2 university level leagues compared to every single conference, NAIA, NACE, um, ECAC, all the different alphabet soups. Um, so there are lots of leagues, but then this is stuff like this is Norway, Dutch, um, Croatia. Actually, Croatia is popping off right now. France,
But it's very narrow. It's
Australia.
very narrowed down.
hmm So, yeah, it's the amount of leagues over here is not the alphabet soup. Now, I'm taking some students back over to Texas to Waco to the CECC championship
Okay.
in May. So I'm gonna have some students. I'm meeting with them this week to finalize some roles for our students to come over and do social media, event management, um, marketing, coaching, and such, based on their degrees. Which I'll tell you in a little bit when we get to those questions. But they're gonna come over, and that event is May Madness, but it's also March Madness style of Big 12, SEC, Big 10 get bids and they get in the whatever top seed or whatever. That's the same thing that the CECC does.
Mhm.
They've been doing in Fort Worth or Arlington for the
Right.
past 4 or 5 years. And so that style of all those acronyms of schools all getting some sort of bid that they have to manage to get a bid into 5 different game titles. Over here, it's just like there's 100 schools that play and they all play in different divisions and there's 2 leagues and that's it. You choose one.
I like
It's not
that.
crazy.
I like that. And I want to go back to what you were saying for like
Mhm.
what would be our high school over here. So you're saying those last 2 years, and I don't want to put words
Oh,
in your
yeah.
mouth or in
Yeah.
the country's mouth, but is that are you saying like those last 2 years is really preparing those students for like what they want to do for work or going into
Mm.
the workforce? Is that kind of where it's
Yes.
looking like?
So like my son right now, he's finishing his ACTs version is in his sophomore year of high school is what he's doing right now.
Okay.
He's doing what's pretty much his ACTs equivalent.
Okay.
That he's doing a bunch of tests, not like state tests or whatever Iowa test or whatever they are in the states. He's doing what's called GCSEs, and so you can choose, I think, to do like between 9 and 30 different types of tests that all have different focuses, whether it be math or science or literature or English or science, computer science or whatever. And depending on how well you do, you can then take those results to a specialized college. You can choose to go anywhere in the UK. Most likely people just do it in places that are close to them. So
Right.
we're in London, he's been to like 5 different school visits where he could take a tube all the way across there, a subway train all the way across London to get there, like down into central London for a really, really good school, or come near my campus, 8 minutes away and take something a little closer, but it's a little more basic for him. But you get to choose because he's gifted and he can probably go anywhere. And in that college level or that last 2 years of high school, his junior senior year, they also call it sixth form, and they also call it furthering education. It has so many different names, but he can choose to take certain subjects. So whatever that school provides, just like any university or whatever, he can choose. Okay, well, I want to do math and criminology and computer science, and then that's it. Or it's It's university style, so he just shows up whatever days he has class, and that's
Those
junior
last
senior.
two, really?
Yep, it's just junior senior level. So you're now, which is funny because then that secondary school, that junior year and down, everybody wears uniforms, right? So it's uniforms across the country. So it's just so
Yeah.
funny because I didn't grow up wearing uniforms until like my high school or my elementary school turned into a magnet school, of course, because of money, because it was in the hood, and obviously we needed white people money to make it better or whatever. And so yeah. And so then it became a magnet school with because uniforms are going to save the school, whatever.
Right.
And over here, it's just so funny because you see kids everywhere because they're all going to school in uniforms. But then when you get into that last 2 years of high school version, you're pretty much a college student, and you go and show up whenever you take the bus, and you get there and you take class and you hang out with your friends and you leave. Just
And
like
are you paying for those last 2 years as a
nope,
parent?
nope, it's all free. It's all free. Now,
I'm just
when you
envisioning that. I'm envisioning that here. So it's basically like,
yeah,
and again,
your
I'm just
17-year-old going 16,
no,
17-year-old,
I'm starting
right?
like kindergarten. So you're
Uh-huh.
learning pre-K to 10th grade. That is your learning, and then when it's
That's your
time to
that's your mhm.
like, okay, narrow it down. You got 2 years. I'm not gonna say 2 years to figure it out, but like you got 2 years to specialize in something, and we're
Mhm.
gonna do that for you for free
Yep.
to get you into the workforce. That doesn't necessarily mean that after those 2 years you're going to
Yeah.
go to said college or whatever, but like you're going to come out specializing in something in those last two
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. My
That
my s
like
my son looked at one that had digital media as a course, and I was like, "Man, this is great. My campus is right across the street. How do we or down the road, I'd love to have my students come and talk to your students because of digital media." And of course, that's one of our courses. And so, yeah, he can take that, and one of them, my oldest one, does photography, so he could do photography as an actual course, and for 2 years if he wanted, just to get better at it.
how does he like it versus being in the US?
It's been interesting because we came at such a late time.
Yeah.
In August, our two older boys had to go to online school, which is like a UK school, and they did COVID for a year, right? A year and a half. So it's not too bad. He's gifted, but when we were back in Kansas City, he just couldn't focus on. There's always discipline in a public school. I grew up in that. I was always in trouble, and I was the distraction in class. So I was the jerk kid that had the gifted kids. Like I remember my friend Jason, like he was gifted. There's no way he ever got anything done because I was always causing problems. So my oldest son, I'm sure he's liked it over the past year and a half not having that distraction, but he's also missed the social part. So it's
Okay.
been good, but he's going to go um, this is why he wants to go to a really nice um, junior senior year that really challenges him rather than just being basic, because that's why he didn't like regular high school back in Kansas City. And then my middle son did online school, but he just got into a brick and mortar school and he loves it because he's introverted, but he loves like hanging out with friends and playing football and just hanging out and whatever. And
I'm
my youngest is in brick and mortar school, and he plays soccer every day, and he loves it.
I'm just amazed, and I didn't know it was that process. Maybe I'm just dumbfounded, but I'm like, it's again, my focus is now that my kids are in their 20s, I'm looking
Yeah.
at like youth and workforce development, what that looks like,
Hmm.
and just to focus on like,
Yeah.
okay, these last few years we're still going to educate you, but we want to prepare you to
Hmm.
get out into that working world, because truth be told, like not everybody goes straight to a university or a
I
college.
mean, look, man, look, this thing we've been fed for so long, and that we've been fighting for so long as well. Of the new bachelor's degree is a master's degree. The new master's degree is a PhD, right? You've heard that kind of happen over the
Yeah.
past 30, 40 years or whatever. And the Gary V's of the world that say don't go to university because it's not worth it, because you're just going to build debt. Like we all had that. I mean, I'm dumb. I still have school debt. We all have school debt. We got fed all the stuff in America about of course I'm going to get this student loan that's I'll pay it back when I'm 30. I mean, I'm I'm 44 this year. I'm still paying it back. I'll still be paying it back.
Mhm.
But that that generalization and the university structure in the United States of the 4-year university or even the 2-year university where I'm going to go. I went to community college. My I went to an NAIA school my freshman year and played soccer for as a freshman. Spent all my savings because it's it's not a land grant institution. It's a private school, NAIA. And then I went to community college for a year. And I'm like, crap, I could have gone here for 2 years from the beginning and got it paid for because I was at a Oklahoma City public school.
Mhm.
But I missed out because I went to go play soccer and missed my chance to like qualify for that grant. And then I go to Oklahoma State into 4-year university after kind of off and on in school. This was in 2003 or 4 at this point after I
Mhm.
graduated. I graduated high school in 2000. And I look back and like, why the
Oh,
crap are we all?
2000.
Yeah, I graduated 2000. Yeah,
I'm
I'm 44.
97. I'm 97.
Yeah, I got you. I got you, Gen Xer. I understand. But like that 4-year university style where we'll spend your first 2 years doing English Comp 1, English Comp 2. Maybe you'll do one class that's related to your degree, and then you'll really focus on level 3 and 4. Your junior and senior, you're really going to focus in on those level 3,000, level 4,000 classes. And I just look at that and what I've seen over here.
That's money making. That's
And
all money making.
it's just money. It's just making money to get more money from grants and student loans that we all just live in this stupid cycle, man. We just live in this cycle. And over here, okay, listen to the scholarships over here. Okay. This is gonna be so you're gonna be so pissed. Okay. So it used to be, right, 15 years ago where you didn't pay for it. So automatically mad. But okay, well, capitalism, struck. Tony Blair, way to go. Back in the 2000s or something. Capitalism came along and they charged like $4,000 or something, and now it's like $9,000 a year, which universities like $30K a year some places,
Yeah.
in the US. And so you don't have to start paying back your student loans until you hit a certain threshold of income in the UK. So if you just make 25K or whatever for the next 30 years, you never have to pay back your student loan. Here's the thing, it's really going to piss you off. After so many years, it just sunsets and they wipe it away. They just it's like 30 years. They just say, oh yeah, you don't owe any more student loans, even though you got like $100,000 left or whatever, or $30,000 or something. You don't.
No wonder you said what you said before we got on this chat. No wonder you said what you said. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Y'all, I might need to pack up my bag.
It's my wife. My wife wants to get. I'm doing a master's class right now, and for teaching in higher education certification, and it's like 1K or whatever for a master's level program, but like a master's level class, your master's program is only a year long here. Some of them are 2, but most of them are 1 year long for masters, and it's like $6,000 for a master's. It's nothing, and yeah. It's funny, man. It's so funny.
That leads into my next question, Bubba, because it's all about curriculum and what you just said, like just the difference, like, and we haven't really even like scratched the surface of esports stuff, but just just to get you to that point of just like, well, I want to be able to do this program, be a part of this program. Everything that you said sounds easier to have a program to do these certain things because it's prepping you, it's preparing you. And I'm sure there's still a lot of red tape and barriers and all those kind of things. So I'm not going to say that everything is like, a walk in the park, but it seems like a lot of those walls are torn down to get you to that point, especially when you're saying like, okay, these last 2 years you're doing this. And then to do this, to get a master's, all you need to do is do this. To do this, you just need to do this. Scholarships, loans, as if you're not making this much money, let's pause and wait. But especially now with where the economy is going, like not everybody's making X amount of money. So I get all that. But I want to switch gears and talk about your curriculum. So you've taught and built curriculum all over the place, and now you're at the College of Esports in London. So from your perspective, what should students and educators and people in the community understand about what does it actually mean to have and teach and to get an esports degree? What does that mean? Because I know that's, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real with you, but I'm sure you've gotten a lot of conversations like esports degree.
That was me. That was me when I heard about this university.
Oh, really? Okay. Because
yes.
I'm telling you, because it's still in the conversations now about like esports degree. Like, what in the hell are you gonna do with that? Do you see the layoffs? Do you see this? Do you see that? Like, what?
You know, a lot
is
of
it?
you know, I actually did a online open day school visit with Chris Ferguson. If you know Chris Ferguson from Toronto, he is known as the video game professor.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen him. Look him up. Really, really cool dude. Black guy who lives in Toronto. He's just so super chill.
Yep.
And I had open day. I did like a, I jumped on the call. I wanted to learn like how he was doing it, because he's just legit. And we're all going to talk about transferable skills. I mean, I was going to talk to you earlier. I was going to say something earlier about your business and doing what you're doing business, and how everything we're trying to do is now like, this is the meta of us teaching transferable skills in esports, when people like you, Danielle, and others, like, transferable skills had to be learned and taught and used to run a business in esports.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of US and UK universities sell esports in the sense of transferable skills, STEM education, game-based learning. Those are all the sexy words. Social emotional learning, curriculum, all the sexy words are out there. The degrees, it's really interesting, because I fought for a while and still have the conversations where many universities in the US were slapping an E, as we know, on like a communication class and saying, oh, we've got an esports communications minor now, or we have an esports degree because we're selling an esports degree. Because what? I mean, I helped write a recreation degree, I remember, at the university, but all we did was write 2 new classes and add it to the PE structure. And like, now you have a recreation degree because I helped write 2 more classes. And they just switched around the electives, or the year 3 and 4 had something different. And now you have a totally different degree. So, I mean, it's totally possible in any country to do that. But for a while, that slapping an E on a class or a module or something you covered in class, and now saying, oh, this is an esports topic and a focus. Of course, it's now sexy. We can sell it because we jumped on that bandwagon in 2019 during the gold rush. And
we sound so old talking about this.
Back in the day, the go used to pan out gold for esports venture capitalists. Yeah. And man, I look, there were so many conversations. I mean, this was a conversation with Seth. We were trying to find like all the degrees being offered like in 2022 at different universities, and it was hundreds. And they range from, people like Joey, who was at Shenandoah, now at Syracuse, like teaching esports degree. I mean, I could list off 10 more great educators. I mean, I got to be on, I guess I still am, I really don't know, but I'm on a board for Full Sales with AJ and Raylan, and they created a esports business degree. And it makes sense there because they're very focused on digital media and broadcast for their sports degrees. But like those make sense compared to just selling it sexy. So when I heard about this university in the UK, I had reached out to Tom Dorr at British Esports and said, hey, my wife, her company is based in the UK. We're thinking about maybe moving there because she went to school here 21 years ago in London, and for a semester on a study abroad program. And so she had always missed London, wanted to come back. She came back a few times for her company, the charity she works for. She works for a charity called Alpha, a nonprofit in the ministry world. And so she'd come back a few times in the past, 6-7 years as part of that, company conferences.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the catalyst to move over here. It was me finding a job as well. And I reached out to Tom and got this interview with the College of Esports, and I thought, what this smells like
You thought
trying to
trash.
sell sexy. Yeah. Trying to smell it smells like trying to sell sexy and just, shine a turd basically.
Uh-huh.
And it when I came over October 23, I just pleasantly surprised and moved here last August. The amount of getting to just own my classroom, teach whatever I want, which I mean I got to do in the US, but as I maybe described to you earlier, in the US it was, hey, you're teaching again this semester? Cool, see you later. And now
Right.
it's high quality and quality assurance. This owning my classroom, creating the curriculum, but building it off of not just what's trending, but what are the trends. And so that
Okay.
means preparing our students for working while they're in school and giving them opportunities. And like, I mean, I've got students going all over the place this last few months, working different jobs and for different esports orgs or events management groups that aren't even connected to esports,
Okay.
teaching them how to make a resume that's a master resume with esports in mind, and a resume out of that master resume with tech company or event company or digital media company.
Okay.
So I think that's what we're all doing as educators in the higher education space with our students, is not pushing that you're going to work in esports, but wanting them to create a better esports industry is what I tell them all the time. I use Marcus's code terminology all the time. I want you creating esports 2.0 because I want you to do it better than us, because it's all of us are just a bunch of people from different industries.
Mm.
You are coming out of a degree in esports, working in esports. That's something we didn't have. We had a bunch of people working at sports and broadcast and tech and education coming in to build esports. Now we
Okay.
have you focused learning from pracademics, which I call myself a pracademic, an academic who does practical stuff and has worked practically in the industry, that you now get to learn all the things I did wrong and how to do better.
Mm.
And we want you doing better.
Mm.
And so, yeah, the question always is, what jobs are available out there? I mean, I want you to build the job. I
Okay.
want you to
Okay.
build it. Esports is grassroots. I want you to build your own company. Let me help you build your own
Mm.
esports org. And that's most of their assessments are creating their own business. In
Uh,
classwork is creating an esports org and building it. I've had so much fun this semester running a human resources class in esports events management, because I've just done game-based learning only, and with like in class, not like video games, but game-based learning with activities like playing Among Us or whatever as a staff meeting,
okay.
and like in person, like that is really fun for me, because I'm trying to show them this is the kind of crap you're going to have. People who are trying to sabotage a meeting, people who are over talkers, people who are in staff
Okay.
meetings, just like, this is the stuff I want you to see, which then they realize, oh my gosh, I've been in meetings like this already with jobs that they're doing now, or in the broadcast studio that we use. So I mean, it's just prep for real life, but it's just growing their minds. I mean, they're not going to use math ever, trigonometry as much as they thought they were, but they grew their
Mm.
brain, and now they're just growing their brain again.
So they're not expected, and this is the other thing, like
Hmm.
the term esports degree, it's like when we were in like esports, e-dash sports, and all. Like now that new switch with the esports degrees, they're not. You're prepping the kids not to think, oh, well, I'm gonna walk out and start working at Riot or whatever. It's the way I'm hearing it from you. It's more like I'm. Yes, you have the esports degree, but you're able to do these things. It opens the door to a
Hmm.
conversation. So if you end up working at Riot, that's wonderful. That's great. But if you end up working at a tech company, you're still
Hmm.
taking those skills. Is that what I'm hearing? Like,
Well, you're exactly right, and it's funny because we have a bunch of connections. And just to let you know, we have 2 degree paths. We have esports and video games.
okay,
Now, esports, let me come to that in a second. But video games, we actually have our head of video games, or games design, or sorry, games development, has pathways of design, art, and development, basically.
okay,
And they build video games as assessments, as projects. They don't write essays and do tests and do exams. They build video games, and they're led by Lewis, who worked at Rockstar Games here in the UK. And so we have people. There's three other ones lecturers. One just got her PhD in VR, and
Oh,
from
wow.
Swansea University. We've got another guy, AJ, who's worked in the gaming esports space for a while teaching, and then Edmund, he's worked like at Oxford in computer science. So we're pretty lucky on the video game side, and they're teaching how to build video games. And then the esports side, we have two pathways. We have business, and then we have coaching. So business is where I'm in, but coaching is esports coaching. So they're learning psychology of players and working with players and training and psychology, and they're actually becoming coaches and managers and leaders of esports orgs. And
Mhm.
then my side is business, where business has three pathways: media, marketing, and then events is what I do. So media marketing, media is creating the content, marketing is telling the story. Their assessments are basically portfolios and projects and learning how to be journalists in essence. And then events, for me, I love my degree path because our assessments are running events. Like they're assessed and graded off of how well they do, how well they lead, how well they operate in failure. And that's the assessment, that's the grades they get. And so we don't do exams or um, that style, where a lot of universities will in the UK have basically that take an exam. That's the selling point we have. And so, yeah, we have this breadth of esports and video game creation that work well for our tiny little university of 300 students, which is funny because when you start a university in the UK, if you have like 3 to 10 students per degree, that's called extremely successful. When
Okay.
you start a university, yeah, it's like, oh wow, you have 6 students in your degree. Wow, congratulations. That's hard to do because it's a small country. So trying to get,
Right.
whatever, kids involved and kids into school, that's a high win. So 300 students for being our 4th year is like a huge success, and we're only doubling each year. So it's really, really fun. But that last question on that curriculum would be, because there's so much stringent oversight and quality assurance, is that every 5 years you just throw all your curriculum away and rewrite it. So you can't use the same stuff for more than 5 years. So right now we're
I love
rewriting.
that
Yeah, we're rewriting. We, like, by law, you rewrite your curriculum every 5 years, and which
because
makes
you
it
got to
even
stay up.
more fun.
You got to stay up
Yeah,
with what's going on with the times, especially.
yeah,
So now that sounds like you're including maybe some AI in that kind of
thousand
conversation.
percent. Oh man, we could talk about it for 6 hours, bro. But let me come back to that. But yes, now in those 4 years, I didn't just teach the same thing. I got to
Right.
adapt every year and update or ask a different, like, run an event or do this project based on this question. The next year, I would say do this project on this question, or I change the time and the place or whatever, or the purpose. Like right now, I've got students writing about esports sports washing in Riyadh as a reflective paper and research. And then gender equality and sexual orientation is another assessment they're working on. But last year, that same class, I had them working on political ideology in other parts of the world. So it's I get to change every year, but now this next year I get to rewrite the curriculum how I want them to be. Like, I basically want them to have no transition from what they're doing in class to when they're working in the field. Like there wouldn't be like it would just be like an easy flow. Like, oh, I just did that. Oh, I'm doing it again in another event. And
Hmm.
that's the goal with what's called our periodic review every 5 years, and get to write it, make it even better.
And are they required to have some type of, like, they need to be in some type of job as they're in school to have that, synergy or whatever? Is that is or
We not required, but we make every opportunity possible, especially with all the connections that so many of our staff have. Of Yeah, we've got. I mean, I post job opportunities all the time that students are trying to go to, and I've just emailed out 2 different esports orgs that want interns just around the
okay?
corner. Yeah, like here they're looking for interns. Apply now. You better hurry before somebody else takes it. And it's like eight or 10 internships at 2 different companies that are like esports. like arena, a gaming arena, like a LAN center, and the other one's like they work in a LAN center, but they're doing education. It's a high school teacher who's running this org
Wow.
as well. So yeah, they're constantly given opportunities. But we also have Legion. This team right here is our mascot, is our school team,
Hmm.
and so we have a BBC level broadcast studio with, you know, a camera on a jib and green screen that's an Infinity Cove set, and a whole entire gallery of computers that they run vmix and OBS and everything on. So if like 15 to 20 students are in there at once running live streams for British esports these past years, and they're
Wow.
doing that as a job. But then the team is managed all by the students, and so they all have their own roles. So they basically can put on their job applications and their resumes and CVs of, I do have 3 to 5 years experience in a real world experience, as well as a degree at the College of Esports, because my job while being there was at Legion as part of the team as the social media manager, or I moved up to CEO of whatever. So, which, you know, Maryville does the same thing. Students who are working or volunteering or whatever at those esports teams in the US are also doing the same thing. So,
But it sounds to me
yeah.
like it's very purposeful. Not to say that we're not purposeful here, but like the way you all are doing it there, it's very strategic. It's very there's a through line there. Like
Yeah.
there are goals set. So like, yeah, I'm going to school for the College of Esports, but like here's what I'm doing to get out of it. Because like I always say to my kids, they are very hands-on learning kids. Even I'm very hands-on learning. Like we talked about like when we were going into schools, like I remember going for my radio and television degree,
Mm.
that I was
Mhm.
very picky on what
Mm.
school that I was going to. And
Yeah.
most schools, you couldn't touch the equipment until you were a junior or senior standing. I'm like, well, I'm wasting my
Yeah.
time. What am I doing for the first 2 years? And then shout out to
Mm.
Sam Houston, Eat 'em Up Cats. When I
Yeah.
got there, they're like, you're going to do it whenever you register for your first class. Oh,
There we
okay.
go.
So I get to touch something. I get
Yeah.
to. I don't know what schools are like now. That was when I was 19, but that
Mm.
was one of my biggest things. Was like, okay, well, when I'm paying all this money, I don't want
Yeah.
to just read. I don't want to just write. I can do that all day long. I've done that for 12 years. Now I need to touch something. I need to be in that space. And what you're saying
Mhm.
for you all is like, we're doing it now. Like you're paying this money, we're gonna get you in these spaces. This is not going to be your end goal. It's your starting point while you're still learning. That's what I like to hear, and
Yeah.
that's where I think people need to understand when we're talking about a esports degree.
Mm.
What does that really entail? What is my child, or what am I walking through as I get that degree? What is it that I'm doing? And the fact that you even said like, oh, we got to change our curriculum every 4 or 5 years. Oh,
Yeah.
most schools aren't doing that. They're trying to keep it real. Most schools are like, well, we have this esports degree so we can get more people
Yeah.
in our
Exactly.
schools.
Yeah.
We need more butts in the
Which I
seats.
mean, I was selling that to, I mean, I was talking in 2020 to a group of, I don't know, 15 different administrators at 15 different universities about like, this is a selling point to help you with retention and recruitment.
Yes.
Build a gaming arena in your student union and start an esports degree. Okay. But hire nerds and hire teachers who know how to do it. Don't just slap E's on stuff, is literally what I told them. And to make sure they had better advice than what they just had.
I said the
Mhm.
same thing. I'm like, this is great. I
Mhm.
understand that the enrollment's on, and this is what you need.
Mhm.
Now you've got the sexy, but now you have to add the pedagogy behind it. You gotta
100%.
you've gotta build something to where people are constantly coming. Because I say this in K-12 too, like, well, what are you gonna do when Rocket League gets old? Because that's gonna get old.
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
gonna do when Call of Duty gets old? Like that's gonna get old. And we all love those games, but there are people who are coming to do other things in the space.
Mhm.
Kids, parents are looking at like, what is my ROI
Right.
for we giving you all this money, especially now when money is so tight. Okay, if my
Yeah.
child is going to get this degree, especially a degree that's kind of like a taboo degree, let's just be honest, it's a taboo
Mhm.
degree.
Yeah.
Like you know what you're getting out of if you're going for a media degree, a law degree, or you know
You're
what
getting,
you're
yeah,
gonna.
you're getting your degree in music or you're getting your degree in poetry, son. Well, you'll never make a career in that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like the
but like,
1950s dad.
and even the way you're explaining the process, like even because esports, we still have to always explain. Here's the process. Here's the why, because it's still new. So even in the
Yeah,
collegiate space, we're still explaining it.
yeah,
But
yep,
leading into
1000%.
that question, like you already talked about it. What are some misconceptions that community people see when it comes to the that esports degree or the esports education, and how do you have to understand that there are opportunities that are still there, because I know most parents, most community people, unlike you and me, like we're on LinkedIn every day, and
Hmm.
Bubba done lost his job. but yet the child wants to do gaming. But so, like, for you, like, what are some of those misconceptions, and how do you have to understand that this is still viable? You can still do this.
Man, I love talking about all the work that other people have done. This is why I put Rachel Cowart stuff on everything
Mhm.
I can, promoting what she's doing and talking about. Savvy Cyber Kids, Ben Halpert, I mean, even Chris Ferguson, video game professor. I mean, I need to add a page for you to I do. I don't really pull it up. I need to add to the big video games and esports document. I'll put in the chat if you guys want that. That's a free resource from the Video Games and Esports Foundation. But yeah, we need a
Nice.
that document. Started out because I was having those conversations that you're asking about. I was having those conversations about convincing and saying, here's the benefits of video games, esports in schools, and what parents believe, the misconceptions, the stigmas. It started out as an 8-page slide where I was going around to schools, and it turned into a web page that was really, really long. And then now it's 199 pages because it's basically a collection of data points and resources, because I just want people to have it. And I keep it as a Google Doc so I can update it. I mean, I think I was going to add something about psychiatry today, actually, psychiatry.org into the benefits section. And so, yeah, my this is what I've done for the past 6 years, is basically convince people of the value of video games and have those hard conversations. But yeah, I love talking about what people already have done. All the stuff I ever talk about is what everybody else has said or is saying. I'm just trying to get the information out. If I can broadcast and I can talk in front of people and interview people, if I can stand up in front of people on a stage and have these same conversations like I do, it's none of it's my information. It's all the data that everybody's collected. It's in research studies, articles, videos, and it's just there. But that's why I created that document, is because I wanted
Hmm.
it in one spot. I wanted it in one freaking spot because we had all this information everywhere. And so that's
Right.
why it's 199 pages long. And the convincing over the years that we all have to do in esports is, yeah, it's real. Yes, there's scholarships. Yeah, there's a guy named Ninja. The esports World Cup, 70 million. Booga, 3 million, whatever. We have to do all those conversations at the Thanksgiving table to convince, the crazy uncle about all sorts of things and esports and what our careers are. But I mean, I did that, I did the same thing in sports. When I was in sports for 20, I've been in sports 25 years. And
Mm.
it was my mom. She was like, yeah, my son's a sports director. I mean, he plays with kids, I guess. She didn't even know what I did when I was in sports. I was running YMCA's with, I was a marathon director for 5,000 people and running 20,000 person sports leagues in Kansas City.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I still had to explain what the heck I did, because it's just not an easy job. Like, I don't just like, oh, I'm an accountant. I go and do numbers. Okay, I get what that is.
Right.
It was not, so luckily I was on this path before esports to have to sit here and explain what my job is. And I just added the E in front of it, right? And call it esports.
I get it. Like, yeah, like if it's not, again, those typical degrees, law, doctor, whatever, like you don't see it. But with these roles that we're doing now, and roles are being created every single day, you're not
Mhm.
having to, not, I don't want to say pitch, but really explain, like, this is the work that I'm doing. And now with being on the LinkedIns, the TikToks and everything, like you're having to put more of your work out there. I hate to say it like that. I'm not saying it's required of you, but I've even talked to some of my students who are I teach entrepreneurship. Go figure. Me teaching
Where
that.
you said you teach it overseas. Where do you teach that? Or who do you teach it for?
It's a school called Hudson Global Scholars. And I teach all the digital stuff. And I'm teaching a lot of kids who are in Greece and Brazil and some other Asian countries. And they scoop it up. When I tell you they scoop it up, they and I'll be the first to admit, I'm just like you. I'm just learning from my experience of me being in this space. Do I have a entrepreneurship degree? Do I have a business degree? No. But what I do have is experience based off of my resume, events that I've gone to, things that I've built up over the years, the learning process. And so that's what I share. Like even in my the entrepreneurship class, I'm the kid that I'm teaching, like I said, okay, we're going to flip this. And it's not a lecture class. We're going to do this as if you are my client and I'm your consultant, and we're having those one-on-one conversations. That's how this is going to look. We're tracking your progress. We're looking at your SWOT analysis. We're doing it just like I'm consulting, because that's how I would do it if you're my actual client. He goes, oh, okay, yeah, that's how we're going to do this, because if you're in this space, you got to learn what this looks like. And then he even asked on top of it, well, I'm in engineering and I'm in this other class and I'm learning how to build an app. Can I apply that here? I said, yeah. Like, why would you not? Like, I wouldn't want to ask you to do something extra if you're kind of sort of doing the same thing in the other classes. Bring that in, because you just told me you're building an app and you're doing, I think, something in engineering. Why not bring those things? I said it would be wrong of me. I said I would do it, but then I'm looking at how you're being you would be overwhelmed and saying, I want you to do that extra. This all comes together. So now you're going to learn the business side of it, at least from my lens of what I've learned. He goes, oh, that's really cool.
I love you said that, because that's been such a topic of ours, is because my students are running an event. They are event managers. They then work with the media and marketing degree students.
Okay.
Because they have a assessment that's a portfolio. Okay, that portfolio, guess what? Don't just make up a fictional event. It's only, we're writing it as specific into the curriculum next year, but this year it's like, okay, they're doing a portfolio for their final assessment. They're doing an event. You work together. You're already going to run the event together and do stuff. You're going to recruit these other students anyways to work on an event with you at some facility. Like we get the Red Bull Gaming Sphere. Like, do we go there in central London, because they give it to us for free. It's really fun for our students. And they go and run an event there, but they just recruit students from those other degrees anyways. Well, we said, like, well, they have to do in a portfolio. Let them make all the marketing portfolio stuff and guidelines and brand guidelines for your event, and you run the event. And now you're both assessed and you're doing it together. So 4 different degrees are actually working together. Plus our games design students then will make a Rocket League skin car, or a F1 car, or a skin for some sort of car or something, if they want to play an F1 game. So yeah, that's you're exactly right. Getting all of them to work together. And
so yeah, and Bubba, now I'm having the conversations with teachers in high school, because I'm like, start building a portfolio. They're like, what? I'm like, I don't care what it is. And I had this conversation, like I did like a small website for my daughter. She's in music management production for Berkeley School. And so she's like, I got to do X, Y, Z. Talk about transferable skills. I don't mean to overshadow you, but I just got to tell this story. So she had to build a website. I said, okay, well, number one, let's have a meeting. She looked at me crazy. Let's have a meeting. I said, like, if you're wanting me to build a website, like, let's have a meeting. Exactly. I'm the consulting, the client. And so, like, I sent emails. I did everything that I would do with anybody else. And she talked about how she wanted design, how things should look. I said, okay. I mean, I built up the site within 24 hours, quick. Bloop, bloop, bloop,
Mm-hmm.
bloop. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said, what her concern was is like, well, I haven't done anything. I said, stop, pause. I said,
Yeah.
let's look at your assignments. Show me your assignments. And so she showed me your assignments. I said, okay, you've learned how to do this. I'm making up something because I don't remember what it was. This business, whatever. Let's
Mm-hmm.
take the academic part out of it. Your skill set is you've learned how to make this business plan. So let's just take these 1 or 2 words out and you put this business plan up. Oh, she goes, oh, okay. Like, there you go. I said, the trick, everybody, is like, now when you're doing these assignments, it needs to go past the grading table. If there's something that you see that is connecting, like, oh, I want to be in media or I want to do this. Okay, save that and see what you can tweak with it later to put in a portfolio so people can see your work. It doesn't mean that, well, I haven't been at Riot or I haven't been at PlayStation or I haven't been at that. That's we get that, but what are the skills that you know how to do because you've done these things?
Exactly.
I took her. I said, all right. I took your Instagram stuff. I said that needs to be on this page. Let's put some highlights there. Let's look at your logo. What is your mission statement? She didn't put that on there, but like, let's look at your fonts and all that kind of stuff. Designed all of that for her. She goes, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do. Like, take some, like, always save your assignments. I don't care what it is. She did something in Fortnite. This has nothing to do with this particular class, but I said you need to save that and put that in a portfolio somewhere. Don't treat these things as an assignment anymore. Especially if you're in college now, or let's go backtrack, starting your junior year, sophomore year in high school. Start saving that stuff, whether you get a F on it or whether you get an A on it. Always go back and reflect, okay, well, what did I learn out of this that I could put, in a portfolio? Because that F or that A in class that you got is something different in the business world. It's something completely different. They're like, oh, you need to be my intern. You made some mistakes here and here, but like, I see the quality of work that you're bringing out, and as long as you keep evolving that portfolio, I'm gonna hire you. And I tell people, like, you kids, like, it's great that you're on TikTok, it's great that you're on X, it's great that you're on all these things, but I'm gonna need you to be on LinkedIn. Why? I said, because you need to start lurking. If you say, I want to be a doctor, lawyer, gamer, digital media, whatever, start putting your name on there, your actual name. Not sexy Bradford Harris, but actually put Bradford Harris on there. And there is no, and for y'all, there is no sexy Bradford Harris. You can't find that.
I think people are Googling it right now.
I know people are Googling it. There is no OnlyFans. But although people are making money off of that.
Too much.
Anyway, but you go on there, put some things up. It's okay if it's a little dirty right now, but you're going on there to look and lurk. Look at groups. Look at what people are saying. That gives you an insight. Is this where I want to go? Is this what I want to be? Let me connect with or follow Bubba and see, like, I want to do this. Maybe he has some insights. That's where the next level is. Before you talk to your parents, or as you're talking to your parents, hey, I want to do this. Well, let's put you on to LinkedIn and start filtering and start lurking. You've done so wow, but like this, what you're doing is so.
It's fun, man. It's fun. I love you talk to your kids like that. I've multiple times. Like, okay, we're gonna build. This was 10 years ago, whatever it was, 8 years ago. Like, we're gonna build a lawn mowing business. So, like, let's start with the business. My wife is also a serial entrepreneur, and she has a business degree, and so we're like, yeah, let's create a white page proposal and a business plan. Like, what is that? And so, same process, multiple times of these conversations about we're gonna build a brand, or my son starting a YouTube channel and how to build up a YouTube channel with him, and then realizing, okay, this is way too much. There's too much freedom here. Let's restrict it. No comments. Okay, let's start over. And he's 14. And so I love that.
And it's a lot.
It is.
And I don't know. And I'll be the first one to say, like, I don't know anything about business. I barely know anything about entrepreneurship. I'm learning. All of this, you
Yeah.
guys, is a learning
But
process.
you know how many entrepreneurs, so many people that are business owners that I know growing up were people who didn't go to college, didn't go to university.
Hmm. Hmm.
Those are the people who start businesses, and they're the ones who are successful business runners. Do you have a leg up, maybe getting a business degree and running a business? Yeah,
Yeah.
but sweat equity at 16 and starting your own business is just as much as if not more than the practical experience will outweigh a degree over and over. Um, Now that's the conversation we keep having about why get a degree, but then we're sitting here talking about esports is great. Come to our universities and get a degree. And
But the way you laid it out is like, okay, like here's why I think you should have this degree. Yeah, esports is great. If you get a job in esports, that's cool. You have the esports degree, but like, let me walk you through what that actual process
Mhm.
is. So if you are not in esports within the next 5 years, our and I don't mean to put words in your mouth or the College of Esports mouth. If you transition and do something else, what we've done here is we've given you these skill sets so that you are prepared to transition to wherever you want to transition to. I think that's the whole entire goal. I think what people are looking for in whatever degree. Again, my degree is in radio and television. I
Mhm.
think I still obviously I think I'm still using a little bit of that, but I mean, you don't see me on MTV
Right
or
now.
whatever. You never know. But like still like I take skill sets from whatever I'm
Yes,
using from that, and I'm
it's all growth.
transitioning. Yeah, I'm transitioning to whatever it is that I'm transitioning to. So I think that's the biggest misconception is we have this piece of paper that says I've gotten this, but we
Mhm.
haven't taken a look at here's my body. I need you to look at my body of work.
Right, right.
Here is what I've done. Like I just paid $30,000 for this degree to say I have something, and I honestly, so I could just be able to walk into the room. I'm just gonna be honest. That's really what it is. That's
Yeah,
just so, just so I
you're
can walk in the room.
or get your CV get your resume through the system. I mean, if you have a qualification or degree, yeah,
Yeah,
it gets you in the room,
it
get your foot in the
gets you in
door.
the room. It gets you to have the conversation. It gets you to have the TED talks.
But I mean, like, I look back at and, a lot of my wife has never applied for a job. She's always like, "Oh, she'd be a great fit for this. Hey, we wanna hire you." That happened to me sometimes, but she's never really applied or, like, sought out a job or something because she's just really skilled
Mm,
and a very valuable employee. And, the conversation to know the right people or, it's who you know kinda stuff, but yeah, who you know is just as much as important as that piece of paper, most of the time, because that piece of paper then lets people say, "Oh, hey, I know this person. They've got a degree in."
yeah,
The conversation will be like, "Hey, I know this person. They have done stuff."
yeah,
Maybe like they own their own business. Okay, just levels of validity, right? Happen on those who you know. I think the who
hmm
you know is exactly right, but it's levels of validity that matter in that who you know.
yeah. What do you think? Since now that you're overseas and you've seen what you've seen, and speaking of Chrissy, I probably need to contact her.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think? What are some things that you think now that in the years that we've been in this space, and now that you've gone over there, you spent what it's been almost a year, a little over a year over
Over a year.
there. What are some things that you think now that maybe we should start thinking about over here as far as maybe implementation, as far as curriculum, as far as maybe higher ed? What are some things that you guys might want to think about XYZ from
You
your
know,
year experience?
going back to 2023 of a whole university about esports and video games. Ugh, right? That's what we are. And I thought that was dumb. And because there's I mean, I already had a ick moment anytime anybody was running an esports degree anyways, until, you get to know it, you get to learn people. But I think that whole thing you said of, like we were talking about, people got their bruises, right? You got your bruises over the years, so you learned. I think getting those bruises of having conversation with boomers who are like, "Hey, we're going to have an esports certification or degree or something," and they they literally have no idea what video games are, and they're doing those things. Higher ed specifically has that issue in all countries with the boomers selling it for sexy.
Mhm.
And uh, yeah, I think if there's anything to bring back over, um, I don't know how you would change the U.S. Uh, student loan and student loan and 4-year university style, but man, it is not. There's no capital. There's not the same kind of capitalism over here, and it is. I am definitely the capitalist and the American who like Bubba, all you want to do is have a staff meeting. Like, because can we talk about stuff? Everybody's being passive aggressive over here. You're all being British. Can I just be American and have a conversation and just be direct? But
They
that's
don't want no
culture.
meetings.
Yeah, they don't want meetings. They everybody's passive aggressive. It's just British culture. It's very indirect. And
Mm.
so maybe I would bring some humility back over as uh, to come over to the United States in any space, higher ed or whatever. I have so much arrogance. I'm such an arrogant person in this country. I thought I was normal in America. Now I'm like so arrogant, and well, I'm arrogant and I'm superficial, but like I am 10 times here because it's just like you're not supposed to say things like that, Bubba. You're not supposed to act like that. Like, what are you talking about? This is just me. Yeah, it's because you're American and you're a dad and you're weird. It's like, well, I mean, this is what I am. This is who I am.
That comes with. I'm gonna tell you something. That comes with
Mhm.
you're getting older, and you've seen
Yes.
things. You've been things like I've
Yep.
noticed. I've said some things like, I ain't got time for that. Like we can save this in 5 minutes, and I've
Uh,
even started to say like, just tell me you don't want to do it.
mhm.
I've said that to like, just say you don't want to do it. Like, why sit here and go through all of these conversations? I'm starting to sound like my dad. Like, I ain't got time for
No, no,
this.
you're Danny Glover and Lethal Weapon. Not let's get too old for this.
Yep. Okay. I'm like, and this goes all the way back to the beginning where like, okay, I want to do a program. All right, let's have a real conversation. That's really
Mhm.
great. And before I show you the nice, speaking of Legion, I'm not going to talk about nothing bad about Moose. Speaking of this nice, glamorous computer. So what are you doing right now? Okay. Stop. Pause. Who have you talked like? They'll people get out my face like no,
Mhm.
it's time to have the real conversation.
Mhm.
Let's
Yeah.
let's talk about it because we got the bruises and here are
Yeah.
the people that we need to connect with. I need you to connect with Danielle at Texa. I need you to
Mhm.
connect with Chris Aviles from Garden State Esports. I
Mhm.
need you to connect with Bubba over here. I need you to
Mhm.
start having these conversations with these people to start getting you know facts. That's what I had to do when I got started in this space. And honestly, my supervisor didn't think that I was going to go there. And I do remember, Bubba, like when I first got started, even before I met you, I think there was an event at the Esports Arlington Stadium. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go over there and just see what it is. I don't even know what the event was. I think it was
Yeah.
Mind Fair or something like that. Or I don't
Okay.
remember what it was. But like, I said, I'm going to go over there and I am going to do XYZ. I
Mhm.
came back with a full-fledged presentation. This is what's going on. They're like, what? And I remember I will never forget this. I showed the map of Fort Worth and Dallas and I said, this is your esports ecosystem right here. They're like, what? I'm like, here's the arena. Here is Six Flags. Here's this. And here's this. So uh uh I was like, wonder who's buzzing like that's you talking on the other side. But no, but yeah, they were like, wow. I'm like, I said, this is the ecosystem, this is connection, and look where the arena is. It's smack in the middle. It's
Yeah.
smack in the middle of the whole entire Dallas industry. Now I don't know what's going on over there now, and I don't say that as good or bad. I just don't know. But they're like, wow. And I remember going out that room, and my friend, I remember Eric. I mentioned Eric yesterday.
Mhm.
He was saying like, I don't think they thought you were gonna do all this. I'm like, no, I'm like, I want to develop a program. I want to show
Yeah.
you the spaces that I'm in. These people have brought me in. These are the people that I know. This is how this is being built. This is before all this big hype, like before COVID,
Wow.
before all of this stuff. Like I was trying to just build something. And I
Right.
had all of my receipts. So I tell people, you got to get your
Mhm.
receipts. You got to get your receipts. So yeah, that's just where I stand. What is the future like for you? Let's say, and I've never asked this for anybody. Now that you're in a new space,
Mhm.
what does this look like for you 2, 3, 4 years down the line?
Man, it's fun because we're doing a lot of future planning. And I, this is a fun season of life. If I'm always in higher education for next 20 years, I really don't know. I mean, I'm always going to be public speaking. I'm always going to be. I mean, I've got 3 different extra projects that I worked on this week for. I mean, I just built a course for a group in Saudi Arabia for esports. So,
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I really, really enjoy that kind of stuff. Going there in January because I went just on a whim in August, and I absolutely loved it out there to go to the Esports World Cup because it was only like $600 to get there from back to there and back from the UK rather than from the US to go to Saudi Arabia.
I've learned that too. Like
Yeah,
it's a hop, skip, and jump for y'all to go
yeah.
anywhere.
From London's the middle of the world, man. It's great. So there's that. I'm always going to be doing that stuff. I'm always going to be talking, teaching. When I get my PC, I'll start my invite sent back show up again
Okay.
and play some games again with people, and start interviewing people here in Europe. But then I think what's fun is our university, as you mentioned, the College of Esports, is actually, yeah, like you said, in the Olympic Park here in London, which was the Olympics were in 2012, and so one of our founders, David, he actually ran the Wembley Stadium, where big 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 events happen in London, and he was on this committee that was all about sustainability for this area, which then he started working with our other founder who started another university in Wembley around soccer, and they wanted to build a university here in the Olympic uh, campus, Olympic Park, that was about all world sports. That was in 2019 when they were launching a campus about sports, and then
Mhm.
COVID hit, and they switched to esports. They basically took
Yep.
their digital media degrees, their marketing degrees, their coaching and event management degrees, and said, "Let's get some nerds, hire some nerds. Let's convert these. Let's convert this stuff, which is very transferable from sports over to esports,
Yeah.
and changed everything to esports and started our university." This year, we've been working on our umbrella organization, which is the World Sport Campus, where esports lives under that. And for me, as somebody in 25 years in sports, I've been basically with another professor, been writing new degrees, not only for our esports degrees, but writing new degrees and building an entire new university for sports. And so that's really fun for me because then I could be at a university that has sports and esports, my two loves, games and sports, and run events management for sports people and video game nerds and lead that. And I spend so much time translating from traditional sports and conferences into events management because I ran a Super Bowl every weekend with the YMCA. I ran marathons, all this other stuff. It's all I'm doing is adding tech and changing the field from outdoors into a conference space. And for me, that's really fun because that means not only am I rebuilding an entire degree for esports right now, where we've created the framework for an entire sports university that has marketing and coaching and events management degrees and going to be housed in the same place. So that's a long-term thing for me, really, is managing multiple university degrees and different styles.
Mm.
So yeah, sports is where I've been. Esports is where I am now. I mean, I tell my wife I just love to get paid to talk for like once a month and make my salary, every month just go speak. That's I'm not famous enough to do that, but
Lies,
the
lies.
the the idea of just like keynote speaking is really fun for me. I mean, you could ask me 5 minutes before the show to jump on. I could have talked for 3 hours about whatever the topic is, and that's just I love being able to share. But yeah, that's my long-term vision. Is just keep staying here. We're not leaving. We're not going anywhere, and we really love it over here. And if God tells us to move to Italy or move to the moon in 3 years, we move there. So we'll just roll with whatever we do next. But we're pretty happy here.
That is awesome. We are way over time because I haven't talked to you in so long, and the conversation has been great.
Yeah.
Bubba, where can people get in contact with you?
Just at the website with my name, and I have a link. I don't use a link tree anymore. I just made my own links page with my own link tree, and you can go right there at bubbagaeddert.com.
That is
awesome.
That
is a tip to all of my friends and students. Use your own website as your links, not your link tree.
I stand with that. Now I do have my link app that I just recently brushed off, but it is free because the Streamlabs version said we're not doing that anymore. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
They said no, we're not doing that. So I started building a link one. But then I'm like, I already have one that's already ready made, and I don't have to really pay for anything quite yet. So I'll just do that and keep it moving. But I do agree. People out there start creating. It doesn't take much to go on a free WordPress site or a Google site. And it may say a long link, but you can turn that into a bit.ly and put a name at the end of it, and you can keep it moving.
Yep. Make a QR code right there. Instead of, I have people ask for my business card. I just show you QR code basically.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about information for College of Esports? Where can people get information about that?
Yeah, it's at collegeofesports.ac, which stands for ac.uk, which stands for academic something. I don't know. I'm not British, man.
You gonna be in that meeting? You gonna get fired?
They never tested me. It's such a normal thing over here. Like, AC means, or co is like company. See, it's fun when I got here.
It's like our school links like .k12.d and that.
Yeah, but like we used all the .coms in the States, so nobody else has the ability around the globe to be able to do what we've done in the States is use .com and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, Bubba, thank you. Stay on. I gotta close out, but stay on if you can. Okay. Everybody. Thank you for those who attend, those who are watching video on demand. Make sure that you are following Bubba and College of Esports. And for me, make sure you follow, and subscribe at Tinker Tech EDU. And I will sign us out, and I will see everyone tomorrow. There's some more people tomorrow. Andrew will be tomorrow. So make sure you check it out. It's Bradford Harris, also known as EdTech Tinker across your social media channels. Thanks for tuning in and staying connected. Whether you're here for the first time or returning, welcome. I'm passionate about digital learning, STEM, esports, gaming, and emerging technology. And I'm here to help you make an impact using digital tools and future-ready strategies. Through my work with Tinker Tech EDU, I help educators, professionals, and organizations design engaging learning experiences, build career pathways, and scale innovation. From instructional design and online course development to digital fluency workshops and career branding services, I've got you covered. Do you need help with your resume, social or website profiles, or launching a course? Want to level up your skills or your team's tech strategy? Let's talk. You can quickly explore all my services and connect with me easily at linkapp.com/edtechtinker. Whether it's Twitch, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, or my official site at tinkertechedu.com, I'm just a click away. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to stay in the loop with live streams, on-demand content, and the latest updates. Turn on your notifications so you never miss what's happening in the world of digital learning and emerging technology. I go live at least twice a month, bringing you fresh, tailored content every time, from gaming and education to tech tool tutorials to professional growth strategies. Did you miss a stream? No worries. You can catch the highlight reels and full replays anytime on my YouTube channel at youtube.com
@EdTechTinker. And hey, you got a question, you want to collaborate, or are looking for presentations, consulting, or professional development sessions, virtual or in person, just reach out. Let's connect and create something meaningful starting today. Thanks again for being part of this journey, and I'll see you next time.